Y'all, did you see Roland Martin's response to Snoop Dogg talking about he don't like slave movies and that he's sick of seeing all these slave movies and stuff? Roland said, "If you don't get out of my face with that crap, and I'm here for it." Let me tell you why. First of all, we are never going to forget what happened in slavery. Not to say that we don't forgive what happened in slavery and the effects that it's had on our people for generations to come. We're not saying that, oh, we are holding a grudge, because I have plenty of very good relationships with whites and blacks alike. However, I'm not going to forget the root cause of the self-degradation that you see today amongst the black population. Again, I know that there's some self-degradation going on now, but a lot of it starts with the unequal footing that blacks had to raise themselves up out of, okay? And the damage that was done through slavery. And it would behoove us not to forget and to keep reminding our children in more innovative and technologically advanced ways as possible. And here's why. We got people who refuse to read a book but would watch a bunch of reality TV with black women fighting and acting a hot mess. We would rather play video games than to learn about our history and read a book and, socialize with one another. We don't want to vote, but we'll stand in line all night for some Jordans. That's a problem for me because, truth be told, our ancestors fought so hard, not only for us to walk freely and to earn a living, but also to read in public, to go to the same schools as everybody else, to have the same opportunities as everybody else, to vote and let our voices be heard in some of the most important aspects of our day-to-day life. That is something that people fought very long and hard for. And the primary motivation for me even upholding my right to be a productive citizen in society is because I know that that wasn't something that was freely given to us. We had to earn it. And I will be damned before I will let somebody lose their life for me to just say I don't care. So no, I ain't gonna forget. And let me just go there for a second. Roland Martin was on point with this. When's the last time that you heard somebody tell a Jewish person, let's forget about the Holocaust? Why can't you forget about the Holocaust? Why can't you get over it? The Holocaust didn't even happen in America, mind you. And we have been extremely sympathetic to the Jewish experience. And we have never, as far as I can remember, told anybody on a public forum that you ought to forget about it and just get over it. Can we move forward? And you certainly ain't gonna hear a Jewish person say that. Get out of here. I just refuse to believe that we ought to suppress ourselves while everybody else is magnifying their history, good, bad, or indifferent. This is a part of our history. This is our reality that we have as Black Americans. It's the reason why I have no idea where my ancestors are from. I couldn't tell you where the last Africans in my bloodline hail from. The most I could do is pay a couple $100 to swab my cheek and might get some accurate results. I don't even know if they're making that stuff up just to make a coin, Excuse me. Now, 2 more points. Snoop, I love you. I really do. I'm not one of your biggest fans, but I am most certainly a fan. I have a lot of your music. I listen to your music all the time. And I used to watch your show, all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you something. I know that you're not going to sit here and talk about how people are not contributing to the upward mobility of the black race when you the main one perpetuating a thug mentality and reputation. You know, part of the reason why cops are so apprehensive with black men that they have to approach is because you, rappers like you, said it's 187 on a motherfucking cop. It was you that said that, didn't you? So let's not sit here and act like you are the most conscious person in the world and that you say nothing but uplifting things for the black community, encourage them to be professionals instead of thugs, and to hold their heads up high and to demand respect from their peers and from their superiors. Let's not sit here and act like you have your pants up all the time and that you don't wave weed in the air every other second. You are probably a bigger liability to the black race than Roots will ever be. So before you start talking about the speck in somebody else's eye, look at the log in front of yours. Now let me tell you, I'm a big fan. I love your music. I'm an independent thinker, so I know better than to let your words and to let your entertainment factor dictate how I act, right? But in the end of the day, before you start criticizing how somebody else does their craft, look at how you do your craft and what you doing to help society. Okay? Now, what I will say is that I have not seen one movie that has been in the mainstream media, in a mainstream circulation, that talks about blacks and Africans specifically before slavery, before we came to America. Really, let me correct that. Africans were in America long before Europeans. Check your history. But what were our people? Who were our people before slavery? I don't see movies about that. I want to see us celebrated for more than how we overcame the slave trade in the civil rights era. Those were huge parts of American history. But yes, the story has been told. I would like to see us celebrate our history in more ways than just overcoming the slave trade and the civil rights. I mean, the Jim Crow era, basically. Let's talk about us as, the emperors and the kings and the queens and the inventors. Let's talk about, the people, the Moors who invented language and modern medicine, ancient medicine. Let's talk about that. Let's make a movie about that. But guess what? I ain't making movies. That ain't my industry. So I'm not about to tell you what to do with your $40 million. And this is what you're passionate about. Go for it. He's not making movies about shooting people in the street, unlike some other movies, including music videos, Snoop Dogg. We ain't making movies about that. We ain't doing that in Roots. So come on. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your craft if it's positive and it's not hurting anybody. All right? So anyway, that's the end of my rant. I mean, I held my tongue for long enough, but I'm really tired of sitting around. And when I saw Roland, when he gave that response, I about fell out. And I love you for it. Man, keep doing what you're doing. Until next time, y'all. Love and blessings.